What, gang? Carolina Jackpot time coming at you Sunday morning. It's June 17th, 2023. Happy Father's Day to everyone out there who is the father of a child or children, or who has been or who's raising kids. You're doing a great job. I wonder if Dabo Sweeney has bought a card yet for the stupid sunglasses guy. I don't know. Make sure he does. He needs to. Also one for Marcus Freeman and big boy up in Tennessee. Anyway, I have got to get on here and make my obligatory 2024 SEC schedule video, and that was released. What was it? Wednesday? Wednesday night. A lot bigger deal right now for folks than I think that it really is or should be. First of all, from the Gamecock perspective, looking at it, I had mixed feelings on it at first, and I'm looking over there on the Gamecock message boards, and half of them are like, "Oh, God, the schedule's horrible. Oh, hell, we might go 4-8. Oh, the sky's falling." And some of them thought it was great. It's different. I'll say that, and everybody's like, "Well, the Georgia and South Carolina rivalry's over. Well, South Carolina's not going to be playing Tennessee anymore. Oh, we don't get a chance at Florida anymore after this year." It's like, shut up. Yes, you are. Hell, you're going to, with the new models, either you're going to have some permanent rivals, you're going to be playing these people every other year, you're going to get a crack at them, okay? So, it's not that big of a deal. When South Carolina joined the SEC, it was pretty well thought of across the board that you'd end up playing an SEC schedule. Now, that's not just limited to a few teams anymore. So I kind of, there were a lot of predictions and whatnot of what the schedule was going to look like. And, all these people were sitting here trying to figure it out, which was kind of crazy. But I had a feeling that LSU and Alabama would be on that schedule for 2024, just because South Carolina hasn't played those teams very often or recently. I think Alabama last time played 2019, LSU 2020, so during the COVID year. But they've got some stuff going up. They're clearing some games off the slate that need to be played. South Carolina has not been to Tuscaloosa since 2009. Or 2009, so they'll play that. Ole Miss comes to South Carolina. They haven't been to Columbia since 2009. LSU will be coming to Columbia. They hadn't been here since 2008. Now, they were supposed to come in 2015, if you'll remember that. I think that was Hurricane Matthew that came through and just dumped all over South Carolina. And that game just was not able to be played here, so they had to move it to Baton Rouge. Probably a pretty good thing they did too, because we got our boo-boo kicked in, which was not surprising. We got kicked in a lot that year. I know what a lot of people out there say, "We're going to kick in a lot every year, Carolina Jackpot." But 8 games, 8 conference games. It's not an unmanageable slate by any opinion. LSU, good team, a lot of talent, good head coach, upward trajectory last year. Kind of concerned about them losing to Texas A&M. Kind of concerned about them going to the SEC championship game and just absolutely getting their doors blown off. But South Carolina got their doors blown off by Georgia too. So I really can't say a whole lot there. But at home, I think that's a game that's manageable. It's a game that's winnable for South Carolina. You go on the road to play Alabama. It's probably, looking at it, a year and a half away or whatever it is. That's probably a likely loss. The game at Oklahoma, you would think it's a likely loss, but looking at Oklahoma, just because of the history, it's Oklahoma, right? But looking at the way Oklahoma played last year, is that enough to chalk that up as a likely loss to anyone? No, it's not. They terrible. Everybody will say, "Well, they got better the second half of the season." Well, their level of competition decreased the second half of the season. What do you mean? And they went out there and got their ass kicked by their arch rival 49-0 in a game that's supposed to be called the Red River Shootout. And only one team was doing the shooting. who else? Kentucky and Vanderbilt on the road. Kentucky that's always going to be a coin flip type game. South Carolina finally broke a string there of losing games in Lexington last year. I'm not going to say that it can't start back up again. We're not over, just because we beat them last year doesn't mean we're over the hurdle and we're going to start back to beating Kentucky every year and maybe lose to them once every 10 years. I'm just not, I'm realistic. And then on the road at Vanderbilt. I mean, Vanderbilt's getting better. Vanderbilt won 2 SEC games last year. They're still looked at as the bottom tier team in the conference, but maybe not by the widest of margins anymore. They could win another couple of games this year in the SEC. I don't know. Hope one of them's not against South Carolina. We have a very, very long winning streak against them that is not going to continue forever. Last year, I went to that game, and in the first quarter, I was wondering if it was going to continue that night, to be honest with you. And then we pulled away, started playing better. So, that's a schedule I'm looking at. South Carolina plays really well. They could go 3-1 on the road. If they play out of their mind and pull it upset Alabama, they could go 4-0 on the road. They could go 0-4 on the road. I don't know. I think there's too much talk put into it this far out. I mean, people need to really be talking about and concentrating on what's coming up in a couple of months, more so than what we can't control that's coming up in over a year. Like that's just me. The home slate with Ole Miss, that's always going to be a tough matchup. You better be ready defensively. Texas A&M at home. That was one that I kind of wish that they could have just gotten rid of that one. For all I'm concerned, and it's nothing against them. It's not that because y'all beat them one time, jackpot. I don't know. Something about them just does not. It just doesn't bring out the same. It's like, I'm sitting down. Oh God, it's Kentucky tonight. Oh, here we go, baby. Here we go. It's Ole Miss. And I get excited over some of these teams. Oh, it's Arkansas. But for some reason, to me, Texas A&M just doesn't evoke that same kind of emotion from me. I don't know about other fans. I can't speak for them, but it seems like my saying, it's just a wet fart program. They just are. People are. Jimbo Fisher is very polarizing, I guess, to some people. I think he's past his prime, and I think his prime was short-lived. I think he's past his prime. I think he's overrated, and he's a whiner. He's a more crass version of Dabo. Without the Christian stuff and the team building. I think inherently, Dabo is probably a better person. Let's just leave it there. But yeah, still, kind of disappointed, and not so much with not playing Georgia. Look, I hate to wave the white flag of surrender or act like I'm doing that, but it's just, we could take a break from playing them right now. It's all right. We could take a break from playing them right now. It ain't gonna hurt nobody. Hell, we took a break from playing Clemson one year, right? Kind of would like to. I would like to have played Tennessee again instead of Texas A&M. So speaking of Tennessee, last night I saw them. I went on my alternate account and watched a live stream that a particular Tennessee YouTube group does. They did a live stream for a commitment for a running back, a kid named Boo Boo Carter. A live stream for a low 4-star that's not even a top 200 player in the country. It's not even the best running back commitment that they'll have this year. They did a big, like a 30-40 minute live stream pandering for money to watch this guy jack his jaws for 45 minutes, dedicate his life, thank it to talking to everybody from his preschool teacher to someone who's sponsoring his NIL deal, and it's just, he's dressed up like the Will Smith character from Men in Black. It's just, whatever. everybody's got to make a spectacle. And his friends are down here in another screen acting a damn fool. But so okay, they got a running back commitment, which makes Carolina Jackpot a little agitated, because that's 2 running back commitments that this program has gotten this year so far with this class. And South Carolina's recruiting well. We're 14th right now. They got a recruit yesterday, or commitment, from a 3-star linebacker from Norfolk area, Virginia. Probably will end up being a depth guy. Not a whole lot of fanfare around that one, but there wasn't a lot of fanfare around Nick Emenwari, number 21 for the Gamecocks, safety from Irmo, South Kakalaki, who was a true freshman last year, and he was one of the SEC. He was one of the SEC's leading tacklers, leading tackler on the team. Great player last year for South Carolina. Really stepped up in the absence of you were lacking in the linebacker core back there as well. Anyway, so he really stepped up. So this guy could turn out to be another one of him. I mean, I don't know. You never know until you get him out there on the field. But history dictates that these folks are going to be depth players. They've taken 2 commitments running back. South Carolina has 0 so far. Now, we did have that crystal ball put in for the young man from South Georgia. We'll have to see on that one. But I really want them to get on the stick now. Let's get some running back recruits in here. We need to get some folks locked in. Like I said, we've got some coming in the 2023 class, but they need to have at least one big one and one depth guy every cycle right now. That's where you're at. South Carolina's running game has not been a threat in God knows how long. It's been over 10 years since South Carolina's had legitimately the last running back threat. And I've just got to think back a little bit here to Marcus Lattimore, and then Mike Davis. After Marcus Lattimore, Mike Davis was pretty good. He was no Marcus Lattimore, especially in his prime, and he was a different kind of running back. 2015, no. We had Brandon Wilds, no. 2016-ish, we're coming in there, and I'm thinking about the Rico Dowdle. He was, he could have been above average, but he really wasn't. You had the kid from Clemson who, was there. So we haven't had a lot of guys in that running back room who would really throw any kind of monkey wrench into anyone's game plan. And I watched Uncle Lou's prediction video on South Carolina's 2023 season last night. It was a good video, and there were a lot of facts spewed there. And he, kind of said, South Carolina, she kind of threw the ball around a lot last year. No one really respected South Carolina's running game last year. And also, it was really talking about the run defense more than the running game, but nobody respected the running game either. And you're having to kind of piece that together right now with the departure of Marshawn Lloyd, which, Lou said, people say, well, he was injured half the time, so, it's really not a big loss. And he said, well, he was the best running back on your team. Yeah, yes, Lou, I understand that, but he was injured all the time. So, I mean, how can that, one doesn't balance out for the other. And I'm not saying it was his fault that he was injured all the time, but it is what it is, though. He wasn't available for us. So we had to call audibles there. We got to get better at that position. We absolutely have to. You can't throw the ball over down. Your quarterback can't run around all the time. It's just, you can't run trickeration all the time to keep teams off balance. You've got to have a solid running game. You've got to have a power running game. I would like to see us get back to that. We need some dudes. We need some athletes right now. They don't have them. I mean, we're sitting here last year watching the spring game, and this one depth guy he was way down the depth chart for South Carolina. I can't remember what his name was. He scored a touchdown, I think, to won the game for his side. Somebody put his name down in the comment section below. good kid, I'm sure. Everybody's like, man, where's he been? Why have they not been playing him more? Well, because he's probably not any good. Probably not that good. I mean, these guys are at practice with these people all the time. All the time. They're with them every day. They know who can do what. If Jaheim Bell was not the best option last year at running back, and this dude was, that dude would have been playing. I mean, he wasn't. There's issues somewhere. Just because he scored a touchdown against his own defense, just no, okay, in a practice game. Just stop it. Stop it. You're smarter football fans than that. So, please, let's get some football some running back recruits in here. I'm ready for some football. I'm ready for this season. I want to see what unfolds. I haven't done my prediction video yet. That's coming pretty soon, sooner than later. And I'm almost to where I want to be on that, as far as just picking the winners and losers of these games in my head. And when I do drop it, it's going to be fire. Now, I don't know if it's going to be fire or not, but it'll be pretty good. It'll be informative. I will give you that. Game one is going to be, that's going to be a test for South Carolina. Last night Lou's prediction was, I kind of predicted North Carolina to win that game because he trusts Drake May more than he does Spencer Rattler. And I can kind of get that to an extent, but I'll say it, your record does not always indicate who you are. All right? It just doesn't. I mean, Drake May wasn't really that effective against Clemson in the ACC championship game. Why? Because Clemson actually had a legitimate defense and was, a better team than what he'd faced all year. North Carolina's schedule is hot garbage. They play hot garbage teams. It's a weak ACC schedule. And Drake May's numbers are inflated because of that. He does not play the schedule that Spencer Rattler does. Doesn't play against some of the kind of defenses he does. And, saying that he trusts him a little bit more. Well, I mean, I can understand that from a perspective of, just results on paper. But if you kind of look deeper into the results, you think Drake May would have went out there and done to Tennessee what Spencer Rattler did? I don't think so. I don't think so. You can say, well, I mean, look what he did to Oregon in the bowl game, jackpot. I don't care. I really don't. I think Tennessee's better than Oregon. So there's that. But anyway, this has been a long video, and I've rambled long enough. I just wanted to get on here and talk some football, talk 2024 schedule, and talk the upcoming season and where I see recruiting going. I'm really pleased with picking up these offensive line recruits. That's where you need to be at. We're strengthening up the lines of scrimmage, which have been a major weak spot for us the past few seasons. But skill players still in the mix. We got to sprinkle some of those in there too. All right, you got to have a little variety with this. You got to have a little seasoning on there. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please hit it with a thumbs up. Just consider subscribing to the Carolina Jackpot channel, and I will see you guys later. Appreciate it. Peace, and I'm out of here. Happy Father's Day. Dabo, make sure you go out and get that card, and go Gamecocks. Woo!